feel like we have so much to talk about.
I've thought of trying to open my shop up and be more of a, like, not street shop, but, you know, maybe have a front desk person so people could come in. But it might happen eventually. I'm just too busy. I've got 4 kids right now, all super young. So, like, you know, I'll have delusions of grandeur. Like, oh, this year I'm going to hire a front desk person.
Yeah.
Hire some of the walk-in artists who've shown interest over the years at working there. It's just a time issue for me, I think, right now.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't think I would want to own, like, a full-fledged street shop, but at least having a front desk person would probably be nice eventually.
I just feel like it's so common now. Like, man, tattoo shops and standards are just growing so fast. Mm-hmm. And, like, I'll even see, like, shops that, like, don't have managers or front desk people, and the artists are like, what the fuck? How do you even run the shop?
Right.
You know? Yeah. It's like, and just, like, what the expectation is with it. Mm-hmm. I mean, like we have them, but then it's also, like, okay, to have, like, a good one is kind of expensive. So then, like, now I have to have more artists, like, compensate for the expenses. And
right. I'm
just curious, like, what they're going to end up growing into. I see some of these shops that people are opening, and they're fucking wild, bro. And I, you know, we know, like, what tattooers charge, and even, like, really good tattooers. And I'm, like, doing the numbers on some of these, like, crazy marble palaces that they're building. And I'm like, what are you guys, like, selling drugs out of the back?
Yeah,
like,
dude. Oh,
how do you
crazy.
make this work?
Well, it's like Arlo opened that church, right? They renovated a whole church. It looks pretty sick. But that was my first thought, too. Like, man, how much dough are you spending on? It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, or even, like, some of the New York shops are, like, I don't know if they have, like, side businesses going or if they just, like, take big percentages from their artists or, like, what the deal is. Or maybe they're just like, fuck it, I want a cool place to tattoo, right. You know?
Yeah. I used to guest spot at Last Rites sometimes, and that was right near Times Square.
Yeah.
I could only imagine what the rent was there.
Yeah.
Like, crazy.
Even in some of the, like, I've visited places in the city that are, like, on the second floor, and they're beautiful, but it's, like, $20,000 a month.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's, like, you got to get buzzed in and all these,
right.
Like, you have to know it's there. And I'm like, God damn.
I like to keep my overhead down just because, like I said, it's a time issue. I can't be investing in my business, like, too much. You know, it's a nice shop.
Yeah.
But that's one thing I love about Troy, dude. The rent's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
So I can give booth rental to my artists for, like, a super cheap rate.
Right.
Not that I don't like money. I like money, but
sure.
Most of the people that work in my shop are just bros of mine. You know.
Well, I feel like keeping the pressure down with anything, like, kind of lets you make better art.
Yeah.
You know?
That's definitely been my focus, for sure.
Right, and I think low margins is, like, great for that. We're always talking about that. Like, is there ways we can bring in, like, side revenue to take pressure off the artist? And I've seen, like, some people do amazing with that. I mean, I think one of the most obvious examples is, like, Bishop and Vatican. You know, they have their whole system going, their supplies and machines and artists kind of all in the same building. And having, like, the company being so successful, like, takes pressure off the artist, you know, to provide for the family, if you want to.
Right. Yeah, absolutely, man. Yep.
So I like when I see that. We've tried to do that here a little bit, but especially in times like this when, you know, people are bitching about economy, maybe clients really aren't there like they used to be.
Yeah. Have you guys been feeling that here a little bit?
Yeah, we definitely have.
Yep.
We definitely have. I think, I don't know, we've been talking about it, like, is it a correction? Did the industry, like, kind of outgrow itself a little bit? Does it need to be halted? Is it just, like,
saturated?
That it's an election year?
It could be a perfect storm, I think.
Yeah.
You know, several issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed my emails slower. Luckily, I'm still able to work as much as I want, you know, but just not booked out as far as I usually would.
Sure.
You know, I've noticed the emails slowing down a little bit.
How you guys doing?
They seem like they're doing good.
Nice.
Yeah. My one artist, Matt, he's all over the place. You know, he's been tattooing forever. He's got his clients, so he comes and tattoos as much as he wants to, but he's a family man. So he's not, like, hustling every day trying to make as much money as possible. I haven't noticed anybody that works for me bitching about it too much, but I definitely have a lot of friends and, like, good artists, like, you know, big name artists people would recognize, not to drop names, but talking to me about, like, dude, I'm so slow. You know, like, my appointments are people I booked 6 months ago, and there's just nothing new coming in. I thought it was just me at first. I was like, man, why are my emails so slow? Yeah, apparently it's a thing.
It's everywhere, man. We have people from all around the world that sit where you are, and they're like, yeah, it's died.
Really?
Like, emails are died down.
Even other countries and stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's the
But
dark ages.
And like, we speculate whatever. I think it'll be like better next year for like a lot of reasons. But we also saw people's pricing just kind of getting like out of control.
It's a little crazy, dude.
Yeah, like a year or two ago. And then, at the same time, like you want to stay like relevant. So I'm always like keeping an eye on like what are other people charging? What are other people in my style charging in my country?
Right.
Because I don't want to come off like so cheap. People are like, what are you, bad?
Right.
Yeah. Like, why are you cheap?
Yeah.
It's not as good.
That's what drove me every time I've had to increase my prices, honestly, is just hearing what some other dudes charge. I'm like, oh, I guess I got to up a little bit.
Yeah. Dude, even recently, like I went to this like convention thing, like this symposium, and there was maybe like eight or nine artists, and like we were like answering questions, and everyone asked, like the audience asked, like, what do you charge? What are your rates? Mm-hmm. And I think I was like the lowest.
Really?
And I was like, damn. So like, and this is like a month ago. I'm like, fuck, I think I have to raise my pricing,
Yeah.
But
yeah, you don't want to come off as being too cheap.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, well, why is he not good?
Right.
Is there some problem? But
right.
at the same time, I'm always worried about cutting people out.
Yeah.
Because I like a lot of my clients, and a lot of my clients are definitely not people with a ton of money.
Right.
It's like metalheads who save up for a year to get a
Yeah,
tattoo.
yeah.
And I don't want to like just be a dick and be like, oh, you got to give me an extra grand.
I know. Dude, and like a lot of my favorite experiences with clients are the people that like saved up all year.
Yeah.
It's
sometimes
like
they're the
fun.
coolest people, dude.
Yeah.
And they're always super grateful for the work too.
Yeah.
They're like the people who are the most pumped about it.
Right.
And they never cancel.
That's true.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah. I mean,
man, you save up for a year for a tattoo, you bought plane tickets.
Yeah, and you don't want to like disconnect yourself from that. Mm-hmm. Or at least I don't, I'll say, I know some people maybe don't care as much. Because as you increase your pricing, like you change your clientele. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's good to find like the audience that like works for you. Mm-hmm. But then on the other hand, if you are marketing to like a wealthier clientele, they're usually less affected by the economy.
Yeah, true.
So a lot of people that have these crazy high pricing, maybe they're only dealing with, let's say they're rich and famous. And it's like even in a bad economy, they're not as affected.
It's true.
They'll still get tattooed.
Yeah.
Right. Usually the middle class is really affected.
Right.
Affected by it.
Yeah, it's true, man. Yeah, I haven't upped my rates in, 3 years or so.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm at a good spot with my price.
Yeah.
I make enough that I can live comfortably, but sometimes people hear what tattooers charge and they just assume you're balling out of control.
Yeah.
They don't consider all the other things.
Right.
I'm paying my bills, I'm doing good, but
Four kids.
Yeah, right. Kids, house. I mean, I spend my money differently than some people maybe. I'm able to support my wife so she can be a stay-at-home mom and do that.
Nice.
Cool.
So, I guess that's balling in some sense.
Yeah.
I'm not out there driving around a Tesla truck or whatever.
Yeah, I'm family balling, dog. No, that's cool though. I think it might be. How long you been tattooing?
13 years.
Actually, yeah, me too. Exactly.
Oh, nice.
Like when we got into it, for me, I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna make tons of money.
Right.
I was like, I'm gonna do a job I love, and it'll feel like I don't ever have to get a real job.
Yeah.
That like 18-year-old me, that's what I'm thinking.
Right.
Like cool, I can.
Oh, me too.
Drop out of college, and I could do this and hang with the boys. You know.
Oh, absolutely.
But now, I mean, there has to be the expectation of coming into the industry. Like I can make a lot of money.
Right.
Like all these like COVID warriors or these like new little apprentices, like. Because it's just, they see, like it is here. Like the industry's grown into that. But I think, and we were talking about it with like Hugo, like the first day in tattooing that I made like $300 in a day, I was like, I'm fucking rich.
Oh,
dude.
yeah. Oh, me too. Yeah.
Like this is crazy, I think I called my mom and I'm like,
I'm successful.
I don't need any more of your money.
That's exactly what I thought getting into it. Too,
Yeah,
I was
dude.
like, I looked for an apprenticeship so hard. I moved to Chicago for it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I having a rough time. I had a lot of people interested, you know?
Yeah.
And then I ended up luckily scoring an apprenticeship, and I was working like part-time at Staples, I think.
Nice.
And when I got my apprenticeship, I was like, oh, fuck, dude. Like, sick. And just like you said, I made $150 one day, and I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
You know, just for drawing on people.